Hey there guys, what's up? Today, I scared my dog. Today I want to talk to you about why I decided to go vegetarian. So it is coming up on almost a year initially that my mom and I did decide together to go vegetarian. And becoming vegetarian has been something that has really, made changes to who I am. And so I just want to go ahead and talk to you about it. I want to talk about kind of like my journey to becoming vegetarian, why we as in like my mom and myself decided to go vegetarian, and then I just want to talk about some myths that people have about both being a vegetarian, like the vegetarian lifestyle, and then also about like the vegan lifestyle, because a lot of this is kind of gonna go like back and forth from like vegetarian and vegan. So I just want to kind of address both sides of that. And I just want to also make it known, like, this isn't me telling you like you need to become a vegetarian or that you're a bad person if you're not a vegetarian. I really don't like consider myself one of those people who is very pushy about my lifestyle at all. The only time when I feel like I get kind of pushy is when people start arguing with me about it, about like eating meat, and saying that like basically just like denying the facts that I give them about like this lifestyle just because they don't agree with it. Yeah, I really am not someone who's like pushy about it in any type of way. I just want people to know the facts, and a lot of the time when someone like gets in a little dispute about it with me and I tell them like where to find these facts, they don't want to go and look at them, yet they're arguing with me about how my facts aren't true. And so I just don't think that you can argue about how you're correct and I'm wrong when you refuse to look at the facts that I'm giving you, Anyways, I just wanted to put that little disclaimer there. Like, I'm not here to make you feel like you are a bad person if you eat meat at all. Trust me. Like I said, it's been almost a year, so up until like this time last year, I would eat tons of meat. I was never someone who really ate too much pork, unless it was like barbecue, I guess, but I never really found myself eating a lot of like ham or anything like that. Like, I just wasn't a huge pork person necessarily. But chicken was like, I love chicken. I love like sandwiches, like turkey, all that kind of stuff. I would eat a ton of meat, and I would probably eat meat every single day. Same with dairy. Like, I love, cheese. I used to drink milk all the time. I used to love milk. You wanna come be in my video? Come here. Okay. I would eat ice cream, drink milk all the time. Like, I love dairy. So it was a pretty big deal, when I like stopped doing this. And you're gonna see like the way that my mom and I made this transition was not something that like was a transition. We didn't slowly start like incorporating this new vegetarian lifestyle or vegan lifestyle. We just went cold turkey. Like, we just quit it all at once. Like, we didn't ease ourselves into it at all. We made up our mind about what we wanted to do, and we just immediately like adopted that lifestyle. But also for a lot of people, it's a lot easier to like slowly start easing their way off of meat, off of dairy, onto like a more plant-based diet. I was watching a video the other day about a girl who recently went vegetarian, and so at first, she would make it so that she wouldn't eat meat more than like twice a week, and then she slowly made it to where she's eating fish instead of like meat twice a week, and then just slowly eased herself off of the meat, off of the fish, and then now she's starting to do the same with dairy so that she can eventually incorporate a vegan lifestyle. And that's probably a good way to do it, as long as you think that you will be able to eventually go from like eating meat twice a week to eating meat 0 times a week. It's kind of just like you have to know yourself and what you believe you're capable of, and that's just the best way to like do it. And so like the reason why my mom and I took on this lifestyle, we were just bored one night at home and we were scrolling through Netflix, and she came across, I didn't want to watch it. I thought it looked boring and I wouldn't be interested, and I was like, I don't want to watch it. But we found a documentary called What the Health. I wasn't interested in changing my lifestyle. I didn't think that this was going to have any impact on me whatsoever. And I watched it, and let me just tell you that if you have not seen that documentary, immediately after watching that, we sat down and we talked about it and we went vegan, like straight off the bat. So I would just suggest that everyone watches that. It is on Netflix. It is so full of good information that you never would have even thought about. It'll literally blow your mind. It just like really unveils some really horrific things that no one would even think to know about, everything. And so I did just kind of want to go through. If you type in What the Health on in Google, it has a facts page from the documentary just outlining the most interesting facts kind of from the documentary, and it shows you the sources behind who said that and where it was said, where it was posted, where they got all the information from, of course. So I just want to kind of go through here real quick, because I know a lot of you are going to be like, whatever, I'm not going to go watch that documentary. So if I didn't tell you these things right here, you probably would never hear them and you wouldn't be interested. So I'm just going to smack them in your face because I know you're not going to go watch it on your own. So bear with me. So currently, this is only 28 seconds into the video. We're already getting hit with these big ol' facts. In 2016, worldwide, we are looking at approximately 350 million people with diabetes. So this is the biggest one. World Health Organization report has classified bacon and sausage as carcinogenic to humans. And if you don't know what carcinogenic means, because I didn't, carcinogenic means having potential to cause cancer. There are carcinogens in cigarettes. Bacon and sausage are carcinogenic to humans. Bacon and sausage has the ability to cause cancer in humans. The same thing that is in your cigarettes is in your meat that you're feeding yourself, your children, your family. One serving of processed meat per day increases risk of developing diabetes by 51%. Most kids by the age of 10 in the US have fatty streaks in their arteries. By only the age of 10. If a child gets diabetes, 19 years are potentially taken off of their lifespan. 19 years. However, despite this information, this proven information, the American Diabetes Association features recipes for red and processed meats on their website. And even though it mentions that sausage and bacon are carcinogenic to humans, the American Cancer Association has a recipe page on their website that recommends bacon and sausage. How does this make sense? If it's proven to be bad for you, why are these cancer associations, diabetes associations, why are they recommending we eat it? And the amount of people who die from cardiovascular disease is the equivalent of 4 jumbo jets crashing every single hour, every single day, every single year. The average amount of people in a jumbo jet is 500. So 500 times 4 is 2,000. 2,000 times 24 hours in a day is 48,000. And 48,000 times 365 days in a year is 17,520,000 people that are dying from cardiovascular disease. The leading source of sodium in the American diet for adults is chicken. Eating 1 egg per day is just as bad as smoking 5 cigarettes per day for life expectancy. This one was really hard for my mom because my mom loves eggs. This is the big thing. Cow milk. Milk is a hormonal fluid. And it's made to feed calves. Calves that are going to grow big and bulky and fat and weigh a whole bunch. Humans and calves are not the same thing. So if milk is what's making these calves big and fat and juicy, and why is that something that we want to be consuming also? Because we don't want to look or weigh or be the same as a calf, you know, or a cow, like a full-grown cow. I don't know if you know how much those things weigh, but it's a lot. It's a lot more than I'm pretty sure all y'all want to weigh. And milk has been proven to not build strong bones. So that whole little myth that they push all over the media that we've been seeing for years since we were children, that milk makes strong bones. It's not true. It's not. It does not make your bones stronger. It does not make them more durable. It does not do that. So, sorry for all you milk lovers out there, but it's not true. It is actually detrimental to your health to be consuming milk. Countries with the highest rate of dairy consumption also have the highest rate of osteoporosis. And dairy has been linked to many different types of cancer. So only 5 to 10% of cancer is genetic, which means we're getting it from something else. If none of that, if you don't want to listen to any of that, and I'm just like not really giving you good information, listen to this, because this is proven numbers, proven, I mean, all of it's proven, but this is like numbers that might help you like compartmentalize all of this. Dairy can increase a man's risk of getting prostate cancer by 34%. And for women who have had breast cancer, just 1 serving of whole dairy a day can increase their chance of dying from the disease 49%, and dying from any other disease 64%. Those are big numbers. Too big of numbers to just write off, you know, like clearly this is having an impact on people's health. So a low-fat, plant-based diet is more than twice as powerful at controlling and or reversing diabetes than any ADA diet, which recommends meat and dairy. Another YouTuber that I was watching, she mentioned the fact that for children we put chicken nuggets and we put them into star shapes and dinosaur shapes and all these really cool shapes, and then on the packaging we put all these happy cartoon animals that are smiling and giving you a thumbs up, and you know, it's lying, and it's promoting like all of these happy things with this food, when in reality, if these children saw what was actually going into making this little dinosaur chicken nugget, they would be completely disgusted and they would not want to eat it. And I know that that's not, you're not going to go show like a 6-year-old like a terrible video of an animal being abused, but if you were actually to show explain to these children what goes into the food industry and what goes into the food that they're eating at a young age, a young kid doesn't want to hurt an animal. And if they knew that they were hurting an animal when they were eating these chicken nuggets, then maybe they would have the common sense to not, you know, like especially at that age, and then they'd be able to make these decisions down the road. But when you're feeding these young, impressionable children these lies, the animals that they're eating are not hurting anything, and they don't even think of it as an animal because it looks like a star. They're not going to know any better, and that's just going to continue down the road for years and years and years. And that's why the food companies are doing that. You know, like, they're marketing to these young, impressionable children, and once they start eating the meat, they're going to keep eating it for years and years because they're already hooked. So I just think that, like, this all needs to start at a younger age. I think that that would do so much good to be, like, educating kids on this at a younger age. But of course, that's not going to happen until their parents are educated, which most people are not. You know, adults don't know this information. On What the Health, it literally talks about how doctors are not educated on these things. They don't get a ton of information on dietary information when they're going through school, when they're going through their training. This isn't the thing that's being taught to them. So even doctors don't really know the full truth a lot of the time. And so it's really just something that, like, we can't expect the kids to be educated when their adults aren't educated, when the adults' doctors aren't educated. Like, it's just a whole chain of people that need to be more educated on this before we can expect anything different to occur. You should watch What the Health, and you should get all these facts from them. Or at least, like, if you're not going to watch the film, which you should, and you're missing out if you don't, you should at least look at their website. So you should really go on here and educate yourself, if anything. So basically, my mom and I watched this film. We go cold turkey right off the bat. Honestly, it was never hard for me. Like, I even worked at a deli, like at a sandwich shop. And it was not hard for me at that point because I saw all of this information, you know, like, all it takes for you is to have the motivation to stop. And if you have good motivation, then it's not going to be hard because you're going to remember why you made this decision. And you're not going to want to break it because you're personally connected to it. I haven't stuck with this type of diet for the past year, and I'm not, like, necessarily proud of it. I wish I could say, like, to this day I've been vegetarian for a year, but I can't. And I think that it's something that a lot of people who do go vegan or vegetarian suffer from. And I did stay full vegan for July, August, probably from July of last year until right about October of 2017. So from July 2017 to October 2017, I was vegan, and it was pretty easy still. I had just gone to college, but for the most part, like, all of the eating places at my school offered something that I could eat, and it really wasn't too bad. However, I don't remember like exactly when I did break this, but I know that at Thanksgiving of that year, I was eating meat. So I think, honestly, I think there was one day where I just had like a really big craving for like Raising Cane's or something, and I was just with the wrong friend at the moment who wasn't gonna like keep me on track, and so I ended up getting Raising Cane's that day and eating chicken. And once you start breaking, like the first time you break your diet, it's a lot easier to start making excuses for breaking it again. You'll say, oh, well, I already did it, so maybe I'll eat meat for a few more days and get all my cravings out. That's one that I keep like fighting with in my head. Like, maybe I should just get I'm craving all these things. Maybe I should eat them all in like a couple days and then I'll go back. But like, once you start, you're gonna want to keep breaking. So I would recommend finding a substitute. Like, I know like a month ago, I was really craving like some Wingstop. I really wanted wings, and so I found a recipe for cauliflower wings. Is it the same? No, but it does it get you closer to that craving, yes. I miss hot dogs. I love hot dogs. And I found a recipe for carrot dogs, which not the same, close enough to my craving. So you really just got to find little things that'll kind of hold you over on cravings until you're not craving it anymore. It's hard sometimes, but you know, like if you're motivated and you're motivated for the right reasons, then you won't mind it, you know. So Thanksgiving of 2017, I was eating meat again. And then I think in December, I went vegetarian. I went back to not eating meat. I wasn't doing vegan, but I was vegetarian. And I think that lasted for probably 4 months. And then I ate meat. And I'm pretty sure it was the same thing, because I was out with my ex and someone invited us to go eat at like this barbecue place, and I was like, ugh, I'm still vegetarian, but today I'm gonna break it. And then a couple of days later, I was gonna break it again, and it went back and forth and back and forth. And in my head, I'm like, no, I'm still a vegetarian. But it just started a trend of me breaking my ways, and that just kind of led to like my downfall. And then probably from like March to June, I was eating meat again. And now I'm back to being vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for 2 months now, about 2 months. And I try and eat vegan as often as I can. When I'm cooking, if I can cook it vegan, I will. But there are times when I will slip some cheese in or some ranch in. Those are like the 2 things that I struggle with the most with being vegan, is cheese and ranch. I don't really like ice cream. I don't drink milk anymore. I honestly 100% prefer like almond milk over dairy milk any day. Like I will choose that, especially when I saw this thing on Twitter. It was already after I had seen What the Health, but I just like made a big deal out of it so everyone who followed me on Twitter would kind of like see what the hell is going on in the dairy industry. And it showed milk like taken from a cow, like freshly taken from a cow, and there's like, you can see the pus and you can see the blood, and it's all like mixed in, and it's just absolutely disgusting. And once you see some of those things, like, you don't want to drink milk anymore. I know that I'm not making the 100% contribution to the earth that I could be. I know I'm not 100% doing good to myself because I'm not vegan. I'm still vegetarian. I still contribute to the animal industry. I still contribute to like the poor treatment of animals. I still contribute to not great things happening to Mother Earth. But I am making a difference, and you know, I'm making a small one, but it's better than not making one at all. And I do try my best to be completely plant-based and not have any dairy. I'm making baby steps to completely switching over to vegan, but I'm doing it in my own time, in my own way, and hopefully this time it is something that will stick, because it is a lifestyle that I want to completely take in. I would love to raise my kids completely like vegetarian, vegan. I'd love people to get more educated on this topic, because it's just so exhausting to have the same like arguments with people all the time when you know that that's not true. But you can't argue with these people. Like, some people literally just worship meat. Another really good documentary, it's actually, I'm pretty sure they're made by the same people. What the Health is talking about personal health benefits. And then they have another one that's called Cowspiracy, which talks more about like Earth, what's going on with Earth when you become vegan, and then also the animal food industry. So again, I just want to talk about a couple of facts. Animal agriculture is responsible for 18% of greenhouse gas emissions, more than the combined exhaust from all transportation. Cows produce 150 billion gallons of methane per day. The biggest myth that seems to come across with this lifestyle is that you cannot get enough protein from plants. This is wrong. So a half cup of beans has the same amount of protein as 1 ounce of meat. Foods like lentils, beans, nuts, seeds, almond milk, these are all products that have very high protein. So you can definitely get plenty of protein from other foods than meat. You do not need meat to get protein. It is completely incorrect. And vegetarian diets typically have more fiber, magnesium, potassium, vitamin C, vitamin E, etc., which meat diets pretty often lack. Another myth is that your workouts will suffer. And if you watch What the Health, it has this whole thing at the end about like these amazing athletes who are vegan and just say that their performance has gotten so much better since making that lifestyle change. Also, people like Venus Williams, Carmelo Anthony, these are, I don't know if they're vegetarian or vegan, but these are plant-based diet athletes and they are amazing. So if they're amazing without eating meat, why do you think that you cannot be a great athlete or someone who works out perfectly fine without meat? Being vegetarian or vegan does not guarantee that you will become some skinny little tiny person. You can still be unhealthy on a vegetarian vegan diet. You can still be overweight. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to be completely skinny. You could still be eating all of the wrong foods that just aren't meat or dairy. Like you still could be eating highly processed foods that are not good for you. They just aren't meat or dairy. So you still have to watch what you're eating even though you're vegetarian or vegan. A lot of people don't want to adopt this lifestyle because they say it's too expensive. Meat is one of the most expensive groceries that you can buy. If your vegetables are too expensive, like your produce, then you can try buying them frozen. That's usually a lot cheaper. But what I've noticed is that my groceries last me a lot longer now that I'm not buying meat and buying meals like that, because it's products that I can use for multiple recipes. I can use them day after day, and so I'm getting more use out of my groceries and they're lasting me like a week to a week and a half typically. A lot of people think that vegetarian or vegan food is not filling, which is not true. If you're not fulfilled after your meals, then you're probably not getting either enough fiber, fat, or protein. But I definitely feel full after eating my meals and they don't have meat in them. People think that you'll have less energy, which is typically actually the opposite. A lot of people who go vegan express having more energy than before, feeling more energized, being able to wake up and not feel groggy. You can also, if you're not feeling energetic, then you need to be getting more B12 or iron. And you can get these things from like spinach, lentils, chickpeas, beans. If you're also eating them with foods that have a lot of vitamin C, like oranges, tomatoes, broccoli, because these foods help you absorb more iron. And people also think that your meals will be boring, and I'm going to insert some pictures of some of the meals that I cook on a daily basis, because I can tell you that it's not just salads. That's the other thing that people argue with me about. They say, I don't want to eat salad every day. I've had like salad once in the past week, so I can promise you that you do not have to eat salad every day if you go vegetarian or vegan. I make some pretty good vegetarian vegan meals, just saying. So yeah, I hope that this helps you a little bit. Maybe you take away some of the confusion as to why people go vegetarian or vegan. Maybe clear up some of the misconceptions that you might have about the diet. And honestly, I really hope you take the next step to go out and get educated, because you can do better upon yourself, you can do better upon the environment, you can do better upon the animals that you all so claim to love so much, yet you are contributing to the slaughter of them on a daily basis. Just saying. But yeah, I hope that this helped you or interested you or whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on social media and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.